You're listening to the Platform Launchers podcast. I'm John Stange, and it's great to have you with us again this week. This week, we are going to be talking about this idea of combining the power of your marketing arms and your lead magnet. So just be thinking about those terms for a second. What are the marketing arms that you have associated with your platform, and what lead magnets do you have in place? Now, some of you listening may not have marketing arms yet, and some of you may not have a lead magnet yet. Well, I'm going to suggest marketing arms and lead magnet ideas that might help get you started, but we're ultimately going to be talking about this idea of combining your marketing arms and your lead magnet with the goal of developing long-term relationships with people who utilize your content. Now, before we get into that, one of the things just a quick example I wanted to give to you of something that kind of segues us into this. But one of the things that YouTube in particular knows that I enjoy is videos of nature, and not just landscapes, not just scenes of hills or trees or whatever, although I do, I guess, enjoy things like that as well. But specifically, the kind of nature videos that I enjoy are animals in their various habits. And like the habitats that they live in, the context that they live in. I enjoy that. And so I often get recommendations from YouTube's algorithm to watch videos that fall into that category. Interesting things that animals do, interesting, patterns and practices of certain species and things like that. And so the other day I was searching for videos like that, and I actually came upon a video that highlighted the work of those who catch and trap alligators, and specifically it's alligators who wander into residential areas. So when you see an alligator that gets into like a neighborhood development or somebody's swimming pool, and the video was highlighting their work, it was showing you how they went about trapping these alligators. And I have to tell you, the video kept my attention. It kept my attention the entire time, partly because the main alligator that was featured in this video was absolutely huge. I don't know exactly how long it was, but it was long and it was big and it seemed rather angry. And I watched this, partly because that alligator that was featured was huge, but also partly because I was just really impressed with the skill and with the teamwork that was being utilized by those that were trapping it so that the thing could be relocated. Now, the trappers were very intentional and they were very methodical, which you would assume they would be if they're dealing with an alligator that's snapping at them and trying to be aggressive and things like that. And one of the things that I noticed that they did right away was that they began by lassoing the tail with a strong cord. So they got that lasso around the tail. And so you have one guy now pulling on that tail with that lasso. And then you have another guy in front of the alligator and nudging the creature away from the home that it was at, and he's nudging it with a large pole. So he's got a large pole in his hand. He's pushing this thing, and the other guy is pulling with that lasso that's around the tail. And once they had it where they wanted it, they then took another lasso and they lassoed its head. So now they've got head and tail both lassoed, and the gator tried to do what it tried to spin, and so it was doing that, and it was kind of getting the cords tangled up, so then they had to untangle it and kind of go back and forth. But after they got it lassoed just right and the thing seemed like it was settling down a little bit, the guy that lassoed the head gave that cord to somebody else, a local police officer it looked like, and then he jumped on its back and he pressed down on the head and he closed its mouth, and then they taped the mouth shut. And I thought, okay, that's probably all they're going to do, right? But then after they taped the mouth shut, they then took its front legs and they pulled those legs toward its back, and then they restrained those legs as well. And I think they used tape to restrain those legs. And basically, at that point, the animal could be safely removed. Its mouth was taped up, its legs were taped up, so it couldn't easily spin or bite or do any of the things that the gator would typically do. But it was just very, very interesting to watch them do what they did. So they lassoed it and they were pointing it in a direction they wanted it to go, and then ultimately they were able to gain the advantage that they wanted to get so that they could restrain and remove this thing. And I don't know what it's like to do a job like that, but I'll tell you what, the men in that video definitely seemed to like their work. They didn't seem to be bored. They seemed to very much enjoy it. And in a strange way, and I promise there's a parallel, But in a strange way, there is a bit of a parallel between the actions that they used in that task and the activities of those who are developing and marketing online platforms. So if your platform is built correctly, you will have several marketing arms in place with one or more lead magnet. Now, I've talked about lead magnets on this podcast in the past. I've also talked about marketing arms in the past, but I'm going to be specific, especially for those listeners that might be hearing these terms for the first time. And the goal of your marketing arms, even before I give you a list of some of the ones that I use, the goal of your marketing arms is to lead potential clients and potential customers to either purchase a product or, more likely, join your email list, which will give you the opportunity to develop more of a long-term relationship with them. So, for lack of a better analogy, your marketing arms are kind of like that pole that's pushing the alligator into the direction that you want it to go for a little while, so that your lead magnets, as they're in that area, can operate like a lasso that helps you to hold on to it for a little while before you set it free. So how can we combine the power of our marketing arms and our lead magnets to help us develop long-term relationships with the people who utilize our content? Well, I'm going to give you a few suggestions here, and I'm going to use Platform Launchers as an example because even though I have another platform, this is the platform that most of you are probably most familiar with. So at present, Platform Launchers has 7 marketing arms. We have 7 marketing arms that we're utilizing with Platform Launchers. And this, by the way, is my whole theory with developing a platform. Don't just try to do one thing. Try to do multiple things well, and maybe you do them one at a time. You develop them one at a time. But the goal is to actually have multiple things in place so that they all work together. And so at present, Platform Launchers, we have 7 marketing arms, and I use these arms basically to deliver free content that's meant to do a variety of things. The content is meant to educate. The content is meant to inspire. And it's meant to connect with listeners, readers, and watchers. So there are people that listen to the podcast. There are people that read the blog posts. And there are people that watch the videos. And sometimes there are certain people that will do all 3. But oftentimes there are, many of the people that consume the content that I share will select their favorite way to get it. So some read, some listen, some watch. My 7 primary marketing arms are these. I've got landing pages. I've got blog posts. I've got podcast episodes. I've got affiliate relationships, social media, YouTube, and then the most important one of all of them, word of mouth. So again, I'll tell you that list again. My 7 marketing arms. These are the primary ones. You might even be able to say I might have some subtle, lesser known marketing arms as well working for me. But the 7 that I primarily rely on are landing pages. So that's just web pages on the site, landing pages, and then blog posts, and then podcast episodes, affiliate relationships, social media, YouTube, and word of mouth. So if you like the content I'm creating, I have good news. I'm delivering it in many different ways, most of which are completely free. But and I know that if all I ever did was create free content, my platform most likely wouldn't have a funding source. And the long-term effect of not having a funding source is that eventually I wouldn't be able to dedicate the time that's really necessary to continue to produce helpful content, because my time and my attention would have to be spent where I earn a living. And that's just common sense. So you kind of have to have a funding source, at least in my opinion, if your platform is going to be something that tends to stick around a long time. Because if you have a funding source, that means most likely you will have the time necessary as you utilize that funding to live off of, to make a living. That'll free up your time so that you can create more content. But if you're treating your online business like a marathon, not a sprint, you can play the long game. And you could put pieces in place that will help you develop an ongoing relationship with the audience that you're serving through these marketing arms. So your marketing arms can direct listeners and readers and watchers to various lead magnets that invite them to join your mailing list. Again, if you're not familiar with a lead magnet, I've mentioned in previous episodes that lead magnets are basically things that you give away for free in exchange for an email address, something you can deliver digitally that is something that, somebody will utilize and then give you an email address and join your mailing list. And ultimately that gives you the opportunity to develop a long-term relationship with the people that are willing to sign up for your list. So lead magnet wise at present, Platform Launchers has two ways to collect email addresses. The main way, the first way that I'm collecting email addresses, or the first lead magnet that I'm utilizing, and it's my primary lead magnet on the site, is a 60-minute training video that I make freely available to those who join my email newsletter list. And it's very effective. And that 60-minute training video is basically a video that we put together here in Platform Launchers some months ago that shows people how to build, grow, and monetize a YouTube channel, something that I have had really fun experience doing, something that during the summer months turns into a really good source of income for me, because I have a variety of videos that seem to do well in the summer months related to home care and lawn care and things like that. Things I just created as hobbies, but they taught me in the process that it was a useful way to build, grow, and monetize a YouTube channel. And so I put together a 60-minute training video along with our members club. We recorded it several months ago, and I give it away for free. It's something that has value. It's something that I think people would pay for, but I give it away for free in exchange for somebody joining my email list. It's a very effective way to build an email list. Now, the second way that I'm collecting email addresses is through blog posts. And those of you that know the system that I recommend writing a blog post once a week. I have two primary platforms. I do that for each of them. I very rarely miss a week, but then some weeks I'll even put up more than one blog post. That is a great way to build an online platform. And when I release a new blog post each week, I do something specific, regardless of whichever blog I'm posting it on. At the bottom of each post, I encourage my readers to sign up for my email list. And I give them the opportunity to be basically the first people to know when I release new content. So if they like the content that I'm creating and they want to read more of it, I ask them to just sign up for my email list, and then they will get that content sent to them freely in their inbox. This method, I should say, of sharing my message is very effective. Now, I will say, as far as email signups, giving away the free video gets more email signups than the blog post as an opportunity. But when you combine them together, they both work very well. Now, I've also heard it suggested, and I agree with this, that it could be helpful to have many lead magnets throughout your website. So I just shared two ways that I'm collecting email addresses on platformlaunchers.com. But I know people that have 10 different ways that they're collecting email addresses, or 10 different things that they're giving away for free on their website. And, maybe someone who visits your site won't be interested in a free video, but they'd like a free ebook. Well, it's nice if you have a free ebook that you could share with them. Or maybe they won't want a book, but they'd appreciate a free checklist that synthesizes your wisdom regarding a particular topic onto just a single downloadable page. Maybe that would appeal to them. Well, have that available on your website. There's all kinds of ideas that you can utilize for developing lead magnets and sharing them with your audience. Either way, if you can figure out multiple ways to generously share your wisdom through your platform, you can share that wisdom through your marketing arms and then point your audience towards some of your various lead magnets. And from there, you can email them regularly and invite them to utilize one of your paid offers like coaching or courses or webinars or communities or masterminds or anything like that that can be digitally monetized and delivered. I am a big fan of content marketing. That's basically what I'm describing here. This idea of content marketing. I'm a big fan of content marketing because it's effective, and they're even on a higher level than the fact that it's effective. Another reason why I really like content marketing, like I've just described for you, is because it feels good to me to be helpful. Most of the people that I serve online, the truth is, most of the people that I'm serving, they never become paying customers, but I still like doing what I'm doing. My podcasts at this point now have over 9 million downloads. It would be nice if all of the people that are utilizing my recorded content are paying customers, but they're just not, right? That's not how it works. So most of the people that I'm serving online, they never become paying customers, but I still like doing what I'm doing. I like helping people, plain and simple. And I'm also grateful for the fact that there's a small segment of my audience that makes a bigger commitment to me and to the content that I'm creating by utilizing some of the paid options. And that's where deeper level connections are made. That's where higher level transformation often occurs. And so I get to see both sides of that, but I get to connect with new people through these marketing arms that then connect to some of those lead magnets. So let me say this as I kind of finish this up here. If you're in the process of building a message-based online platform, give some thought to the marketing arms you have in place. Do you have one, or do you have more than one? Or maybe at this point you don't have any. So is it time to start adding some new things, some marketing options that you consistently create and give away for free, just for the joy of sharing these things with other people, just for the joy of helping other people as they're seeking to learn from the wisdom that you're willing to share? And one of the things that you can do, again, if you're treating this like a marathon, not a sprint, if you're playing the long game here, those marketing arms can point people toward your lead magnets that then allow you to build long-term, life-giving relationships to those who connect with your message. That's a very good thing to do. I think it's an important thing to do for the longevity of your platform and for the ongoing help of the people that you're trying to serve. Multiple marketing arms, giving away content for free joyfully, and then using those to encourage people to sign up to be part of your lead magnet so that you could build that ongoing relationship. Again, if you want to check out how I'm doing some of that, just go over to platformlaunchers.com and you can see some of that implemented right there on the website. You'll see marketing arms like the podcast is right there. You will see the blog. You will see the free lead magnet content. You'll see just other things that are right there available on the website. You could also go over to YouTube and see some of the content that I've put up there related to platform development, as that's connecting with people. But again, you probably remember me saying this just a moment ago. Of all the marketing arms I've ever utilized, the most effective of every one of those things, those 7 major marketing arms that I listed, the most effective is word of mouth. And this is how you get word of mouth. Serve people well. So whatever your subject happens to be. So Tammy Christensen, she's launching a platform related to serving mothers. And I know that platform's going to succeed. Why do I know it's going to succeed? Because I know she's going to serve mothers well. And as she serves mothers well, then they're going to tell other mothers about the platform that she's building. And then those people will join and become part of that. Word of mouth, very effective. Dave Steininger, he's building a business platform to help other people with all sorts of business concepts so that they could be successful in what they're building. I know that that's going to be successful because he's going to serve people well. They come from a generous mindset. Tammy and Dave and others that are live here on our call with us right now, they come from a generous mindset. And because they're trying to help people with these things, ultimately that can trigger word of mouth and hopefully connect people long-term to what they're creating. So be thinking about some of these options and utilize some of these things for the platforms that you're creating. And hopefully that'll allow you to build some long-term relationships with the people that you're trying to serve. Use those marketing arms, use those lead magnets, and hopefully that'll connect you to a much wider and even more dedicated ongoing audience. Now, before we finish up this week, I just want to make mention of the fact that at our website, platformlaunchers.com, I mentioned already we've got our lead magnet, so you can check out that video for free if you'd like to get on the email list, and you can learn a little bit more about building, growing, and monetizing a YouTube channel. But we also have tons of free blog content over there if you're interested in platform development. And you could also take a free 2-week test drive of our members club. So if you want to do that, just head over to platformlaunchers.com, sign up for it, take a 2-week test drive. You'll be able to see we've got a whole year of videos at this point now in the training vault. Lots of good content, lots of good training material to help you get your platform off the ground. And then once it's off the ground, to help you grow it and help you monetize it and help you build that audience. So again, platformlaunchers.com. We'd love to see you over there. And we hope you'll take the test drive of our members club and utilize that 2-week preview, that 2-week test drive. But that's it for us today. Right now, I'm going to sign off here from our podcast, and I'm going to spend some time with our members club for our members only Q&A. But to our podcast listeners and our video watchers, we hope you have a wonderful week, and we look forward to catching up with you again right here next time.